right, welcome back. The final week is ahead of us in high school football. Mr. Schnitker, Tell us what's going on this weekend. What do we got?
Yeah, like you said, the very final week for all these teams to make their final playoff push to decide all those region seedings, decide some region champions, and it's going to get exciting all around South Georgia. So obviously what we were discussing a little bit before with Coffee facing Valdosta, one of those teams is more than likely going to miss the playoffs. So clearly there's a lot of incentive there as that game is in Douglas this week. So also Colquitt County, they need to kind of get back on the right path. They're facing Camden County. Camden County clinched the region championship, beating Lowndes last week. So this is their chance to get on their very typical Rush Prokes Packers kind of run as they get to the playoffs, and really this is just what they do. This is the time when they start to push forward. So it'll be interesting to see if they can play a team well like Camden County, who is the region champion.
All right, so who do you see getting a better matchup here? Which team do you think has the tougher matchup, I guess we should say?
Oh, or in the region within the 6A? Or what?
Yeah, with Coffee and Valdosta.
Well, I think that Coffee, just with a new system. Robbie Pruitt, he's finishing up his first season, and Coach Pruitt is one of the better coaches in South Georgia when you get down to it. But I think that he's still working out the kinks, and I think he'd say the exact same thing. After 1 year, you don't have all your systems in place, and you don't have all the talent that you think you can get and develop over that time. So I would say that Valdosta has the advantage looking on paper and looking at just the programs, but you have to go to Douglas, and you never know when there's a playoff spot on the line within these two teams. Who knows if that home crowd advantage could sway it either way. Right. So I like Valdosta, but I think that Coffee, with the kind of coaching that they have really done a fantastic job this year, and really could pull a surprise, pull an upset.
All right, well, it is the final week, and of course, I guess this will be the final week of the Blitz. Is that true?
We'll keep going a little bit into the playoffs as we have a lot more local teams staying within South Georgia.
And so folks can still go to our website, vote on the game of the week?
Yes, that's right. You can still vote on our game of the week for this week, and then also next week as well. And so I think those two 6A games are taking the cake right now, but we got a few more games out there that are going to decide some other playoff spots.
Okay. What about Lee County coming back a little closer to home?
Yeah, Lee County, they got to win. They needed very badly against Northside Columbus. Did you happen to see a score there?
Yeah, no, I did not.
Lee County just happened to put up 70 points on Northside Columbus, so they needed.
We've all known they could score all year.
Yes.
It's just,
they hadn't scored as much. They lost to Harris County. TCC was a tough game, and they did put up some points there. But Harris County was kind of that slip up. Not the hangover game, but just the game where they just weren't completely prepared after going through a loss like TCC. Right. But they get back on the right track, winning against Northside Columbus, and now it seems like everything's good over in Trojan Land as it's clicking along. But they need to go to Bainbridge this week, and they have to beat the Bearcats to get the 3 seed out of that region, and 3 seed, 4 seed, and from that is a huge difference. Facing someone that's probably 9-1, 10-0, as opposed to a guy or a team that's probably lost 3 games. It's a big deal to get that 3 seed for Lee County.
All right. Well, we wish them luck. That is for sure, and hopefully they can keep the scoring going as they go into a new week and a new game.
Right.
All right. Now we're going to go to weather. Let's check and see what our temperature's looking like. Still 47 degrees at the airport this hour with clouds around. We'll see a few breaks in the clouds later on for today, but not so much for this morning. And we continue to see the winds not really forming the northwesterly direction as of yet, but that will be coming shortly. We'll see them turn northwesterly and get a little gusty at times for today. Still see a good deal of clouds around southwest Georgia, some breaks as we move out into the western areas of Georgia and into parts of Alabama. So maybe some breaks in the clouds later on, but we'll have a few hours still left with a good deal of cloud cover, some rain showers in eastern Georgia areas of the Carolinas. But the big story, of course, in weather will be in a series of storms for the eastern seaboard, especially those areas hit by Sandy, the superstorm, about a little over a week ago. 42 in Augusta this hour, 42 Savannah as well, 47. A very popular number this morning, Macon, Atlanta, and Rome. 49, the warm spots, both Columbus and down in Valdosta. Now then, we go back in time. We had a little rainfall yesterday in the morning, but by afternoon, of course, we got you to the polls pretty much on a dry note, thankfully, and now just seeing a little bit of leftover rainfall in parts of the Ohio Valley and the Carolinas and eastern Georgia, but once again, the big news would be that storm pushing its way up the eastern seaboard, probably bringing about a half a foot of snow maybe to areas of Long Island and New York City as the day wears on today into tomorrow. So some of the folks that saw all the rainfall, some of the flooding rains, well, now they're going to see snow on top of that. And, of course, some folks still dealing with power outages. Hopefully we can keep this storm to a minimum and get it in and out of there in a quick fashion. This one a little faster mover than its predecessor, than Sandy was. So good news if there is any as far as that goes. And mostly cloudy skies will pretty much dominate a good portion of the day. A few breaks here and there. Breezy, cooler, a high of 63. Tonight partly cloudy and cool, down to 39 for an overnight low. And your next 7 days, well, we do see a warm-up that takes place. By Friday, we're up to 72 after a cool morning start at 37. So Friday morning, a little chilly, but a nice recovery. Saturday and Sunday, even Monday, shaping up nice, mid to upper 70s for highs. And a rain chance comes into town by Tuesday at 30%. And we'll see some slightly cooler weather as we head towards the middle of next week, both on highs and overnight lows. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about some college football and more with Mr. Schnitker right after this. All right, welcome back to Good Day. Now time to turn the tables a bit, talk about college football this go-around. And, of course, we're talking locally about Georgia football. Of course, the Georgia Bulldogs coming back from that kind of letdown they had against South Carolina with kind of a vengeance, taking out Florida, no problems with Ole Miss.
Right. Now you got Auburn.
Yeah, I don't see any problems there. Do you?
I wouldn't think there'd be any problems, but who knows? You never know when you have to go there. And this could be, obviously the Iron Bowl is still upcoming, so that would be the upset of their season, upset of to make them happy probably a few years, maybe keep Gene Chizik in the head coaching position. But this is just one of those other opportunities. It's that trap game. I think that Coach Richt is trying to build it up more like that. You know, obviously you're gonna go into it trying to just say that Auburn's got some sort of meat, some sort of muscle there, but I don't really see it. Right. Just because of the way that Georgia's been playing recently. Yeah. The defense has been the problem in the last few weeks. Was fantastic against Florida. It really turned it on after the first quarter against Ole Miss. This is a defense that I think a lot more people expected, and maybe it just took some more time to get everyone, once all those suspensions and everyone was healthy, once they all got back, maybe this was what it was going to be the entire year, but it's just taking some time to work out, which could be scary for some other teams down the road if Georgia's defense continues to improve and play the way it's capable of, because it is one of the better defenses in the nation.
All right. So you see them winning the East, huh?
Yes, and I would say let's put it at what, 24 points? Is that what we talked about before?
About that.
24 points. I think that's fair. I think Georgia probably still exceeds that as well.
Against Auburn.
Against Auburn, yes. And then you're looking at a non-conference game. Then you got Georgia Tech around Thanksgiving, and then what it all matters about.
Yeah. Maybe it looks like Alabama from the West.
That's right.
SEC championship. So.
Georgia, Alabama, which is we're still a few weeks away from being able to completely declare it, but we're getting close. So.
All right. Any surprises you think in the SEC this coming weekend?
Well, I know we could look at Alabama and Texas A&M, and that may be a surprise to some. I know Texas A&M very well. I've watched them for many, many years, and they're not going to beat Alabama. So anyone who is concerned about any upset or anything like that, that's not going to happen. Right. Alabama will win, and I would probably I'll say 10 points if that's a close game. I don't know.
All right. Well, and I know my Mississippi State Bulldogs pretty well. I don't know if I see them beating LSU and. What
I need to talk is, are they going to beat Ole Miss when we get to that? Because
no problems there.
Okay. Because I don't know.
As long as we stay healthy,
I don't know. I may be leaning towards the Rebels as of right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll talk about that later. We'll discuss that later.
Tree out back. 15 minutes. All right.
Duke
it out. All right. No, we won't do that. All right, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons, of course, still undefeated, and they're moving towards kind of a tricky game this Sunday. Tell us a bit about this game. Shake it down for us.
Well, they're going to New Orleans, and New Orleans still doesn't have a defense. That didn't change after last week's win against Philadelphia on Monday night. Yeah. But I think that they are getting some momentum. They're starting to get those pieces together, and having to go to New Orleans, it's still going to New Orleans. I think That Atlanta, with the rivalry that Atlanta and New Orleans have, that's still a tough game, no matter the circumstances for those Saints. And at some point, you need to lose a game.
Yeah.
Honestly, what good is it to go undefeated, to break some record that's 41 years old now?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins in 1971. There's no point in going undefeated throughout the season. All it does is adds more unnecessary pressure to a football team. To lose a game, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but when you're going undefeated, sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I see your point, because it's been done like only one time in the NFL, so
New England got close in 2000.
yeah, it's kind of what you expect anyways.
Right.
You got to circle the wagon, get everybody back on, get back in the thick of things. And when you're winning some of these games, not by much, you barely squeak by. You tend to let your guard down a little bit, and who knows? You could blink your eyes and give up 3 games, and
and
maybe be out of the race.
That could very well happen. You got Arizona, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans next 3. Sometimes a loss can be good, and it's very hard to win in this league. And so I'm leaning towards this might be the end of the streak coming up Sunday.
All right, we'll have to watch and see. All right, now we're going to go to Kelly for a preview of the Buzz.